And we're live. So I'm going to play the intro song quick and then we'll hop right in.
Cool.
Share the link via text with your family. Send it to your friends from high school, your in-laws, outlaws,
Cool.
and all that. All right.
Sure.
What's up, Marcin? Is it Marcin? Is that the right way to say it?
It's Marcin, but I'm used to whatever pronunciation you have.
Marcin. Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. I'm not the best with pronouncing things, but yeah, welcome.
Cool. Welcome. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, thanks for joining. And we've got special guest host, the legend, the man, the myth, Golden with us, longtime producer at Rug Radio, now head of creators and celebrity as well. So yeah, thanks for joining, man.
Thanks for having me, Bern and Marcin. Pleasure to join you guys here today and discuss all of the things. Let's get it.
All right, let's get right into it. Yeah, so Marcin, how did you, I guess, tell us a little bit about your like pre-crypto life and kind of how you got into this space.
Cool. So that's a good question. First, I spent like 13 years applying technology to solve real problems, right? So business process transformation and using the technology to derive utility, the business value to the users. For a big blue tech company, right? For the blue chip one. And at some point of time, I got into the crypto in 2016. I had my first exposure to Bitcoin, just to try, just to experiment what it is about. And I have not seen that much utility from it, honestly, like to do something more advanced from the transformational perspective, right? But I like the technology. I really like it. I had some exposure to Bitcoin, and when the decentralized finance really flourished in 2020, I got that click, right? Like that is the future, right? And I need to be in that space, and I want to create something. So I tried to recreate what I've been doing, like at my previous job, right? With in the decentralized way. So it was basically the CRM. Kind of a decentralized Salesforce, but then I realized you cannot do anything if you don't have an identity, if you don't know who you are dealing with. So I a little bit pivoted into the project that I'm running now, right? That made me like quit my corporate job and follow something useful to create for the people.
Very interesting. So you built like so you talk about like a decentralized CRM. Is that Empeiria, which we're going to be discussing today?
No,
or was
that was pretty. Right now, like I'm building the core more on the self-sovereign identity, with the on-chain proof of reputation, that you can really understand who you are dealing it with in the digital world, because that layer is missing. You have cryptocurrencies, you have NFTs, the asset ownership, but still the identity is missing from the picture to really understand who you are dealing with when you do anything in the digital space, right?
Very interesting.
Yeah,
Golden, any questions?
Yeah, I do have a question for you about your idea of identity in general, because I think it's kind of a concept that gets skewed in our space, and everybody has a different, thing that comes to mind when they say identity. But what does that mean to you, and how are you going about like developing that?
So basically, from philosophical perspective, it's like the identity is the way that the other people perceive us, right? Kind of. And then the digital world is all about the data attestation, right? So attested data. So the identity at the end of the day is underlined by the data that you gather across your lifetime. And if you can get the attested version of it, really like unique one that you cannot fraud, then that's in the digital space becomes your identity basically. And it could be something that it's very unique to you, right? That you cannot trade. That's what makes you an individual with the identity. So it's data, right? And the data is new gold. So maybe you want to own your data and not a big tech be owning those data for you, and you are renting the data basically that you own from them, right?
Yeah, exactly. I like that concept that you have of attaching data to it. And how about for you personally? Like, when do you feel that you developed your own digital identity or your own sense of identity in this space? Like, when did that light bulb kind of turn on for you?
When I turn for me, right? Like internet has one missing layer, which is the identity layer, right? That technology is basically missing from the Web 2, and the way the identity was before internet, right? Which I think is fascinating. Like, let's say you have some documents confirming many things about you, or you have the opinion of different people that you knew, right? Because you were in the personal contact with them, right? So you see them, you can punch them, you can smell them, right? You could do everything. But now the interactions are digital, right? It's different. So you don't really know who you are dealing with. You just the way I perceive the Web3 identity, the self-sovereign identity, is the return to the times from before the internet, because it's exactly the same process, just in the digital space.
Nice.
So we back to the roots, back to the roots, old proven methods, but in the digital world.
Interesting. So on that note, let's dig in. Tell us about Empeiria, like beginning to end. Like, go through all the details. Now, I'll kind of share my screen as we do this. Yeah, I'm definitely interested to learn more.
Cool. So what do we do? Like, you can have many identities, right? And the identity that we focus on is like more of the professional identity, where you can really monetize your insights and knowledge and online social capital, right? Like a proof of reputation. So you can build a real reputation for any digital interactions. That it's mostly focused on unlocking your potential with the data. So addressing the needs of informal education and HR use cases. So that you can monetize your insights, your knowledge, right? So it's like a little bit of knowledge to earn or insights to earn concept based on the identity that you create. Sounds complex, right? Or a little, yeah. It's not it's like a change of paradigm, right? From yeah, guys, like basically today you have your data is all over the place, like in Google and whatever other like service, right? And you don't really own it, you rent it. So the new paradigm is like you have a wallet basically, and you own all your data, all your profiles, and you can, with one click, you can connect those profiles and share it based on your own terms, right? Maybe you can get compensated from it. And you don't need to fill those forms, like submit all the things in order to get the job, or like prove yourself who you are and to others, like from professional perspective.
So how does what you're building, like, how does it use the data, or not how does it use it? I understand it's for identity, but
we don't monetize the data. Is the how the user can use the data. So the user builds a verified profile from I would say it's similar to LinkedIn, but not really, right? But in LinkedIn you have a public CV. And on LinkedIn you can like put whoever you want, and there's a social proof for it. What we do, we will let you to document it, but confirm it by your peers, confirm it by your employer. That it's kind of verified. It has more value than whatever you self-declare, because it has been verified by others in the cryptographic way with the verifiable credentials. So that's the core of the solution, and you have some skills related to what you do professionally, so you can verify those skills. And then you can access through those skills, like through NFTs with the gated access communities, which are really professional communities, like no bots, no like shilling. You need to prove really who you are to enter to that community, right? You need to prove that you have some particular insights.
I think that was a missing piece, like the fact that other parties kind of verify your data. But how does that work? Is it like they also have to participate in Empeiria, or they is it something that's done externally, or is that all internal?
So basically, we released the beta version of solution of our application, right, with the mobile wallet for those interactions with the zero knowledge proof for end of this month for Future Blockchain Summit GITEX 2023 in Dubai, and you can then test it and see exactly how it behaves. But basically, the mobile wallet holds all the data, and it's like basically on your phone, and it's verified with the DIDs on the blockchain. We build it on Polygon ID. We are a partner. It will be announced maybe soon, right, when we release the solution. But we partner with Polygon to build that, and then basically what you have a systems where you can log in, like whoever wants to can create the issuer on the Polygon ID. It's completely decentralized from that perspective. And in our use case, so we can participate in the broader Polygon ecosystem. That's the first thing, because it's universal, right? It's all verifiable credentials on Polygon ID. It does not matter who issues it. You can basically store on it, right, on the wallet. And then we are going to what we have now and we'll be releasing is also like all the issuers for those HR use cases. So confirming your professional experience, you have a artificial and intelligence generated skill test that you can confirm your skills. There's a gamification in the solution, in the application, where you can basically win the trophy for your skills, and then you can share those skills and get access to the communities and monetization of your insights.
This is all right. It just like suddenly clicked for me. So at first I was like, I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
But it clicked.
But how far are you familiar with self-sovereign identity, guys?
I'm gonna go ahead and say not at all for me.
Okay.
Yeah, same.
Can I say a few words, like comparing them to NFTs, or like that would maybe make it more accessible? So, so in the stack of the Web3, you have basically cryptocurrencies, NFTs, and you have self-sovereign identity. So you have those three stacks to be able to do anything like more advanced, right, that you can see in Web2, let's say, right? So the identity is that last missing piece, and we have cryptocurrencies, the fungible tokens. We all know what is it, and we have NFTs, non-fungible tokens, and we have verifiable credentials and self-sovereign identity. So we have both too, and they have some similarities and differences, right? So the similarities is that it's like non-fungible at the end of the day. The verifiable credentials are also non-fungible, right? So you could make them fungible, but they're generally not, because they are related to the single DIDs. They're a little bit cell-bonded tokens, right? Like it's a type of NFT that when you receive on the wallet, you cannot get rid of it. It's like stays with you forever, right? So the VCs are a little bit similar in the sense that it can represent any non-fungible value, like NFTs, but they have few different properties. So first, they're off-chain, it's off-chain cryptography. The DID, decentralized identifier, is managing them. It's like connected with the cryptographic proof to the verifiable credentials. So all the issuance of verifiable credentials is cheaper than NFTs because they don't need to be minted. They don't need to be on the chain, but they are not non-public, right? So the NFTs are public. Everybody can see on this wallet. The verifiable credentials you need to share. So it's more, you know, for the type of use cases with the data, not with asset ownership. They are usually better, right? And for something which is very like personalized, you can. We are doing actually proof of attendance protocol on the verifiable credentials too, and. The similarity is that when you get the verifiable credentials, I cannot sell it to you or send it to you because it's connected to my DID. So I can share it and show it to you, but I cannot give it to you. I cannot send it to your wallet. So that's, but you cannot see it unless I share it. With the NFTs, as you see, there's a little bit difference. So NFTs are great for asset ownership, right? Or some like, you know, more art NFT, which is at the end of the type of the asset, and the verifiable credentials are better for like the data that is related to the personal identity.
That makes
Does
sense.
it ring bell, right? More, right? Like what is like happening here with this new revolution that enables really like decentralized processes, and you can build then really nice companies and business model based on like with NFTs, cryptocurrencies, and self-sovereign identity. You can build really nice stuff that is will make our the world to come back with the middle class. The middle class can raise because you redistribute with Web3 the wealth from the like big tech to the creators, to the people who are participating in it, right? Which is a beautiful idea, right? That we all want to follow.
Utopia, yeah, that's the dream we're always
Utopia,
chasing.
yeah, right. But but it's not utopia, and of course it will not happen fully. But we can do something good
We have
about
to
it, right?
chase it. We have to chase and attack it. That's the idea. I mean, that's kind of how I see all of decentralization in general, is piece by piece, step by step. Who is like the target audience with this, right? Because I feel like the idea is really, really awesome. It's really cool, but it's also a little different. It's also something something different for the average like crypto participant, I think.
Cool. It's a new paradigm. It's a paradigm shift, right? That you own your assets, right, with the cryptocurrencies and NFTs, and you own also your identity with the self-sovereign identity. So it's like a next step. So it's probably for younger people and who know like how much the data is worth, right? That it's useful to have your own data. I would say so, right? Like if you get imagine you get your like some very stupid example with the diploma from university. You get a diploma from the university, you keep it in the drawer, right? You can take it out. It's like your data, confirmed data, verified by the university, right? And now in the digital world, Web 2, that data is rented. Like you rent it back. You need to send it somewhere, and then you rent it back from them, right? It's crazy idea, and they can do crazy stuff with it, like monetize, like the Google, right? Like it was fined. I'm not following all the fines from US, like from US government and your state, like courts, but the Google was for the monetizing the data of the users only from logins last year, $500 million fines on just 4 or 5 states in US. Not even the federal level. So this is for the marketing expense. This is like, okay, we pay it and we do it further, right? So let's take our data back from them, right? That's the idea that we want to realize and prove.
Yeah, I see like a million use cases here. So just to backtrack a little, so I sign up for Empeiria. I'm a user. I upload my driver's license, my diploma. I choose what I upload, right? So I can dox or not dox, right? So I upload whatever information. Other people verify it and can verify, yeah, he worked here. Yeah, he worked here. So the more verification, the more valuable my profile is essentially. And maybe I'm listing like my hobbies and my interests and like where I like to shop at. Are we getting into that level?
Correct. That's all possible. That's all possible. We focus mostly on your like professional skills and the related experience that you can do with a lot of things, like access the communities with that, and of course like some educational services, and you can monetize the knowledge and also document the informal education. Like the world is changing. We used to go to universities. Now mostly people like learn from YouTube, from the channel, from our conversation, right? They learn it, like how they can prove that they learned something, right? From it.
Absolutely.
And we created a system that with verifiable credentials, you could create the test from the topic, right? And they could be a verifiable credentials issued for that if you passed it, or just from attendance. If somebody gets like the proof of attendance from every of your sessions, right? And that person gets 10 of them, he can collect the trophy for the skills that he learned from it, right? You define what the content you have here, like who do you invite, right?
Yeah. So I would I would send.
That's
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah. So that's like something that is basically useful to really as well engage with the community, give them something back, and so you give them some data, some attestation, basically that the people have been here and they follow like a great content which is useful from your perspective, right? To them, and they also think that it's useful for them if they attend like a number of sessions, right? So then they should be able to prove that engagement, right, to others. Because they get new skills, right? They get new knowledge, right?
That makes sense. Okay, so all right, so I'm signed up. I'm ready to go. I apply for a job. I want to get my profile validated more, right? So I'm going to send it to my college where I went to school and say, hey, can you please click this link to verify? Former employers, hey, just click this link saying yes. And then, okay, so you guys don't have to chase them down. The user is chasing it down.
Correct. Yeah, that's like it's not scalable. If we need to chase them down, it needs to be the user, right? It's in the user's interest. He owns the data. If the user owns the data, we believe in if they see the value in it, they will chase to gather that data because the data is theirs, not ours. Like we don't monetize, we don't monitor it. Like it's a wallet, non-custodial wallet at the end of the day for the data, like non-custodial wallet for the cryptocurrencies. Like you own it. We don't know what, and it's cryptographically encrypted, right? So we don't know what's on your wallet, right? We have no clue what is on your wallet.
Yeah, so huge HR use case for sure. And like, if I'm looking for a job, I might do this proactively. And even if they don't use your services, I might say, hey, check this out. It's everything verified, so you don't have to chase it down.
Correct.
As well. I like it. Golden.
How about
my friend got the? Sorry, I can just tell you one thing. My friend just got hired at Chainlink, right? And they asked him to prove 10 years of previous employment, right, as a verification step. And it's Chainlink, right? It's good company, right? Probably we all agree, doing some oracles, like questionable tokenomics, but like okay, they sold something at least. So. They want to check the 10 years of his previous employment history. Of course, he does not have it. Like, no, who keeps it, right? I don't know. Maybe there are people for sure, but I wouldn't, right? And many people also don't do it, right? So here we can really like verify it even backwards with the company and get everything sorted. And whoever then ask it for you, you can show it, right? And you don't need to fill endless forms. Like when you apply for the job, you need to fill your profile, like all the CV, whatever you've done, like who are you, maybe some description, how great are you need to tell them, right? Here, actually, we don't have the description because it's self-declared data, right? It's not verified by anybody, it's my description, but the rest you have. So you should be able to connect with your wallet and just give the consent, and then you can manage that consent, that you remember that you gave consent to them for the data. And whenever you connect the wallet to that website, the profile will be synchronized. So you always update the profile. So the more you go to that agency, for a job or recruitment agency or company, whenever you log in, it will be updated, of course, with your consent, right? So there's a high quality of data in their profile as well, right? Of you as a talent, right? That helps them to find your right job or really verify if you are good for the particular position, right? That you are not missed out from the crowd.
Yeah, I like that use case of employer. To me, that seems very clear and direct and obvious. Like that's a big win for everybody. I do want to ask you about the data itself, kind of the gold here, in the whole project. You said it's like not stored directly on chain, but it's stored in the DID, and like just my involvement in the crypto space, like transparency is everybody's, that kind of our big bold firework in the sky is being transparent and having everything exposed and available for everybody. But storing it in your own, I don't know if it's a server or how that goes, but how is the data actually stored on your guys' side? Like I know you said it's encrypted, but what's keeping that part safe?
So you have so the on-chain data is the decentralized identifier. So each user has one, let's say, decentralized identifier on-chain. right? So that's an on-chain entry that identifies basically my wallet. And my right to have that wallet, let's say, right? It's the right to that wallet, to say it like very simple terms. And all the data is encrypted with the private key for that access to this decentralized identifier. It's all encrypted on your wallet, basically. And there's a cryptographic proof that you own that verifiable credential based on your private key and that DID. Decentralized identifier. So it's a mix of on-chain cryptography with the off-chain cryptography, which you store on your device, on your mobile phone, on your wallet, on your mobile phone.
I see. That's like similar to how some of the cold storages work, like just encrypting it.
Correct.
I see.
It's a kind of a cold storage for your data, basically, non-fungible data.
Really interesting. Okay, so your data is invisible to everybody unless they share it, right?
Unless you share it, yeah. Unless
Okay.
you share it, right? And you can select what you share, and you can also use this zero knowledge proof type of sharing, that you can prove that you have some attribute without showing that attribute. And the easiest example is 18 years old, right? For some services to access digitally, maybe you need to be 18 years old, right? In some jurisdictions. So, correct. It could be different, right? From alcohol to other use cases, guns, porn, whatever is there in that jurisdiction, right? Yeah. And it's so. Like, how do you prove them that you're 18 years old? You send them your ID. You want to show them your ID with your name, first name, family name, some number, birth date, like full birth date, when we were born, some document number, your biometrics. You want to show it to that service if they require that? No, you don't want to do it, right? So with the zero knowledge proof, having the verified credential for your age or for your kind of KYC, you can prove that you are above 18 without showing all this data. It's cryptographically proven. So it ensures very high level of privacy. So you don't leave all your data. Like the average user in internet left the data, like typing the data, not that he was there, it was like captured, and clicking the save button in more than like 2,000 websites and applications, right? So it's like a lot.
Yeah, I see this as being very valuable, and it's such a cool use case. It's one that it's unique. I mean, I haven't heard of this at all. So I guess my next question is, okay, so I'm a user now. I want to make some money, right? Can I click a button and
Correct.
say it's okay to share my marketing info? And then you got your marketing branch of things where, okay, Rug Radio wants to buy stats on these wallets or whatever. Give us a full statistical overview. We buy that, and then you give a cut to the person, right?
Yeah, so it's more like the data monetization is like a very interesting subject, because it's trading the data for some services, like, is of course possible. Like, you share your data and you get access to some services, but monetizing is directly, it's not that easy. So what we believe in is the monetization of your insights, that you have a data, that you have that insight. So we facilitate like a number of interactions with the user that can be verified, and you can like do it anonymously, right? So because I know that the person who speaks on the other side of provides me the insights has supposed to have a knowledge of it, right? Which has been verified, but I don't need to know the name of that person.
Yeah,
so that's
they just want to know
very
the
interesting
profile.
use case. Yeah, just the profile, right? So the total inclusion. Like, I don't care if you are like white, black, yellow, green, whatever. It's like, I just focus on your merit. So it's not like in LinkedIn, if you search for somebody, right, and you find that person is mostly based on the content that person creates, right? Which is important, but it costs a lot of time. Many people don't have time to like create the content for social media. platforms like to prove that they know something and they have some insights. Most of the people are busy with work, right?
Yeah, there's so much you could do with this. I'm
Only
just thinking,
1% of 1% of LinkedIn users creates any content. 1%. The rest does not have time. They are busy with other stuff, right?
yeah, I use LinkedIn a lot prospecting in my sales job, and I can
Mhm.
see like, okay, I'm a salesperson and I want to go to you and I want a list of leads, right? So, maybe I say, hey, this is our company profile. This is what we do. We are looking for
Correct.
people in this industry, and you can just send them a blast. Hey, are you interested? Yes or no? Boom. And there's so
Correct.
much you can do. Yeah.
Yes,
This
of
is
course you can get the benefits to the people that you get access to them, that they want to deal with you, and they really show you like, I'm the right person from the commerce perspective, education, right? Or work perspective, like whatever you want there. So we manage like the 3 types of interactions where it can be monetized, those insights. So first is like a survey to earn. So basically somebody can create the survey with the smart contract related to it. When you click save, you're connected with your crypto wallet. You basically, it's safe, and when you submit it's access through the skills that are verified, right? So let's say I want to check some survey on my application with the recruiters worldwide. I want to ask 10,000 recruiters, right? Like, what do they think about the flow of the solution?
Did I, Rug?
I think it might be Marcin a little bit. I think he rugged a little.
Can you hear me? Because
You're back.
video broke.
Right. There you go.
No worries.
Maybe.
Sort of back. In the meantime, check out this wrecked tumbler. It's full of whiskey, bourbon right now. It's really good. But isn't that clean?
Pretty nice. It's pretty nice.
Sister-in-law
I
special.
would like to see your Empeiria to make sure that you're of proper age to consume a beverage like that, sir.
I do look like I'm 18, don't I?
No, but you do look young.
I'm nearly 40. I need to make some Rug Radio versions of these.
You need to get some more rug merch out there.
Need a lot, yeah.
No, we lost it completely. It's pretty interesting though. Like, I mean, the concept is pretty cool. I wonder how it'll look like out there in the wild, like, outside of specific individuals that want to do this, because I feel like something like this needs numbers to kind of take off the ground and start spreading and be utilized, especially with like that dual verification of other parties, like giving information about stuff. So are you back with us?
Sorry, I'm back. Something like got disconnected. Sorry, I had to restart.
It's all right, man. It's not easy being on a tropical island. I mean, I really feel for you. So
yeah, perfect, like 28 degrees Celsius, right? So it's not like in Dubai. I live in Dubai, right? And it's in Dubai. It's like just so humid, so hot now. It's not possible to survive. So the weekends I try to spend in the more friendly environment.
Yeah, that's way too hot. Way too hot.
Yeah, that's why I can imagine trying to get away from Dubai, but that's cool. I did want to ask you kind of about your user base, because I feel like when you were gone, I was just mentioning that I think something like this, an application like this, does require like a certain number of people to really put it on a tipping point and make all the data and interactions make sense, especially with other parties verifying and businesses using it. So
correct.
What type of user base does it have now, and like how long have you guys been up and running?
So we have now the private beta, right, which is being tested by around 100 users, and in 1 month, for the GITEX 2023 in Dubai, we'll release the public version for people to test. So we have we have a lot of interest from the communities in Southeastern Asia, because those are the people that want to prove themselves who they are. They want to provide digital services to Western countries, right? They want to invest in their knowledge and learn to basically earn money, right? So that's the major interest we have, right? So we are building based on that organically, right? So far. So we wanted to have 100 people in private version of the application. We have it, and that continues. So I hope the interest will be coming. We'll be also interested, like we're working with communities, right? And then mostly NFT communities, and also communities of crypto communities, right? And we showed this application, the concept, get kind of good feedback, right? It's a little bit complex to explain, right? It's we struggle, so we try to also make it's the simpler messaging. But generally, the young population, 90 to 30 years, Southeastern Asia, super interested in participating in this kind of Web3 application being rolled out.
Yeah, that makes sense for the places in the world that are already accepting to crypto and utilizing it in their country.
Correct.
And doing that type of stuff. I think an application like this makes a lot of sense moving forward, because it's difficult, right? It's difficult to exist and do things in the traditional way and then introduce crypto and the way that we do things that way. So that it's
Correct.
An easy, maybe not easy, but it is a solution for a lot of those problems, I think. But when you said you're going to roll out possibly in this event in Dubai, what does that look like? Like, how are you guys approaching onboarding besides like reaching out to small communities? Like, how are you guys attacking that?
Yes, so I mean, we have launch on the stage of the event, but for me the most important is working with communities, because the early adopters, right? They are kind of an innovators, that are active in the crypto space, right? They are the ones that in crypto winter they still look at they believe in the technology, right? That the technology is changing something, right? So they want to participate in it and explore it, right? So those are the communities that we are looking currently, and then we need to build the kind of ambassador network, invest more in the marketing. Right now we have a few angel investors, and we mostly focus on building the solution. And we believe that the moment there's a launch and we move more towards the commercial version, which enables users to basically monetize those insights, not just gather the data and create the profiles, like manipulate the data and own it. But the moment they start monetizing it, we'll also start investing in marketing, right, to get a broader adoption of the users.
Yeah, I think that's super important. I feel like if there was a way to visually see like what you're talking about, like the actual application from end to end, right? From the user to the people verifying to the way the tech works, I think that would really assist with that part of it, because it is difficult to grasp from words and trying to understand it, like, just the concept of identity and using the blockchain that way. So I think that'll really help once you guys do start pushing it in that direction. But communities is where it's at, right? I mean, that's why we're all here to begin with. We all came to little communities and building that way.
Correct.
Okay, so
yeah, the community is all about like one of the most beautiful things in Web3. It's like in crypto community. So it's great to be here with you, right?
Yeah, you as well. So I'm thinking through like your whole branding hurdle, or like hurdle of explaining this to people, so it's so simple that they can get it really quick. Like they just know. And I think like something simple, like prove your identity, verify their identity. Like, because right now you're saying discover Emperia's self-sovereign identity, unlocking boundless possibilities. That makes sense to somebody who knows what you're talking about. But like, if I were to come across your like, I looked at your website first and I was like, well, I'm just gonna ask them, because like it's confusing. But I think if you shorten it and make it like simple, so someone like me can understand it, like prove your identity, verify their identity. It makes it a little more quick and easy to understand for anybody. And I think for mass adoption, you've got to have some form of that where it's really, really, really,
Correct.
really, really simple. And I think that could help.
Yeah, I agree, Bern. That's it. That's
Yeah,
kind of
that
where I was
will-
going to with
Thank you.
like a very simple visual display of that too. Like, you know, like this is the identity, and this is what we're doing with the data and how it can benefit somebody, and maybe even like a real world use case of somebody in a part of the world where that makes sense to use, like how they use it and telling that story about them. I think that would really help tell you know what you guys are trying to do here.
Yeah, like short videos, like just short clips, like
Good
I mean,
clips,
there's a lot you can
one
do.
minute clip, how to use it, yeah, what you can do with it, right?
Yeah, just like
Yeah.
super simple stuff. Here's
You
what he
can
did
try it
for
out
this
on
person.
you can try it out on Burn Dog Lurg. He likes, you know, he's a good
Okay.
guinea pig. Yeah. For use
We
case.
do so. We send you afterwards like few movies. Like the moment the application works, you want to record a few movies, right, to really show what this is, right? Because it's an abstract subject and not that intuitive, right?
It is, but it's so valuable. I think this is like extremely valuable, and it could be absolutely massive. I mean, especially from an HR perspective. I mean, there's so many use cases. Like you could just spend a whole day like coming up with different use cases and ways that you can sell this. It's nuts. I mean, this is one of the coolest uses of Web3 technology or blockchain technology that I've seen so far. Definitely.
Yeah, and I think you know there's like a huge movement right now of the young people and the Zoomers talking about their data and how important it is, and
correct.
The concept of people's data being sold or utilized without their permission, you know, it's causing a lot of talk. At the very least, people are talking about that a lot with the big apps like TikTok, or you know, these apps that don't really ask you permission for things. So getting that audience, getting them to appreciate what you're doing and get involved, I think that'll start a wildfire, because you need that one little TikTok clip of somebody showing how their identity was saved from the big scary you know, the big scary corporation, and that's a winner. That's gold.
Around 20% of people, 2021, like Gen Z, they understand that it's important to own the data. So still, like, you know, a little bit to go for the mass adoption, even of understanding the problem with the data, that the data is monetized and you don't own it, right? So it's a journey, but generally the younger people are getting it, and we need to help them to enable them to own their data, basically. And there's like you mentioned, Ben, there's like thousands of use cases you can come up with, right? So we do just a tiny bit of it, the tip of the iceberg, with that HR profile, proof of reputation, right? And using that data. But it's from healthcare to travel, right? You can have whatever use case you want, and you can be just the owner of your data, and there will be a lot of benefits that you can find there.
Definitely agree. Cool. I'm trying to think if I have any other questions. I mean, I get it. It makes sense. I really like it. Kind of wish I was one of those angel investors, but you know, I'm a poor boy, so I'm not angel investing in anything. But oh yeah, you know what would be really cool is if you could find a way to wedge yourself between people in like Google and Facebook and like become a barrier. Like you could really get all those huge companies by the balls, and like the potential there would be absolutely massive. I don't know if that's possible. I'm not a tech guy at all, but that would be pretty cool.
I think you're onto something, Bern, like associating a product like this with security and safety, right? From the big scary companies, that's a narrative that a lot of people would get behind very easily.
Yeah, and you get people could say, hey, if Google wants my information, they can pay me, right? And I mean, like basically you could hold info hostage, and then or they could say I don't want to share any info. You know, give people the option at least.
Correct.
That'd be insane.
So This is not your average product, right? It's not your average application, but do you guys see competition in the space right now? Are there anybody else like doing something similar to what you're doing that you've seen out there?
Like an identity space, this type of things that we are talking, right? HR use case I have not seen, but like today we are probably one of the most advanced solutions on applications on the running on Polygon ID, which is the most advanced identity blockchain, because they have a competence in zero knowledge proof. It's now the forefront of like the enablement from the technological perspective, right? Looking from that perspective, we are leading from technology perspective adoption, but there's in that space there is of course more products like building like the identity wallet, which is more generic, let's say, not focus on some particular like use case. So there are some identity wallets also on Polygon, and there are some other issuers, and some other issues, that certification from universities. So there are different like fragmented projects in that space, and most of the SSI and that space is all about KYC, right? So the KYC is becoming popular because of the change of the regulations in European Union, where you will need to have a KYC for your crypto transactions, right? So basically the regulator is enforcing on the UN citizens and the businesses that are dealing with them, regulation which requires the crypto wallet to have KYC. So KYC can be only done in the private way on the identity wallet, right? It cannot be done on chain as the SBT, because then basically your wallet is public and mapped to your personal data, and maybe you don't want it, right? that your wallet is mapped and everybody can see like what's your name connected to the wallet that you have.
Yeah, that's huge, especially with the new legislation, I don't know if I'd call it legislation, the new rules from the IRS here in the US, where the exchanges are going to have to provide, and MetaMask and wallets are going to have to provide.
And MetaMask, right?
Yeah, they're going to have to provide us this form with a breakdown, which I love because I hate doing taxes. I just want like a summary. So a lot of people hate that, but I like it. But if I could KYC through this instead of having to, oh, here's my license and do that like 30 times, it makes it easier, and it's more secure as well, I think, because the data is being held centrally as well. So I'm interested
into the exchange. And in the exchange, you can just log in with the zero knowledge proof. So you can show that your identity, your KYC is confirmed, but you don't need to show your data. You don't need to show your name, basically.
Yeah, that's
nice,
perfect.
Right?
Yeah, nice. I like
They don't need to know your name, right? Like that you traded like 1 billion BTCs, right? That you are now withdrawing, right, to your wallet, right? They should not know it, like who is behind it.
Yeah, I don't want them laughing when they read how I did this year, and saying, that was burned. So, I think the environment is really shifting in the way of this technology as well to make it more advantageous for you. So, I love it, man. Golden, anything else from you?
I'm pretty solid with it, man. I feel I came on the show prepared to give you a good roast and really just tear your project apart, and now I'm a fan. So I guess
thank you guys.
That happens a
maybe
lot.
we can connect post the launch of then I can show you how it works, right? If you are interested to further explore.
I definitely would be, and we can connect further to it'd be good to connect after the show for sure. And then maybe a few months down the line to look at how things are going, how's adoption going, and things like that. Hefner's telling me what score to give. So we do have to rate your project. We have to rate Empeiria as well.
Oh, I have to be rated. So it's like now I received the external validation, right? Like
exactly
verification, kind of, right? And I cannot get it on the wallet yet. Sorry.
This will be public. It's not encrypted.
So this is
so it's social proof.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is going to be Golden's first ever rating. So this is a special moment. I want everyone who's listening or watching to pay very close attention. But Golden, go ahead.
Right. And the scale is 10. Is that how, or is the scale arbitrary? How does
It's 10 and it's up to 10, 1 through 10, 10 being the best. And you can go to like as many decimal points as you want. So you could do like, like pi. You could use pi as your rating. We're not going to here because this is way too good, but
yeah,
Okay,
it's a
cool.
little better than pi, I think. A little better than pi. Yeah, I would give it like a 7.020069. I think I like where it is. My trepidations or hesitations just come from its being in an infancy stage and not having gone through a lot of, the back and forth and turmoils that you will surely encounter being involved in data encryption,
Of course.
and all those things. So with time, my score would go up as I see more participants involved and kind of like how it works on a big, massive scale. But the concept is amazing. I really like the idea of, having encrypted data and having a little bit of control of your data in this time, I think is just, invaluable.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. That's a very good score, right? And we want to show you like that the application, right? And the new feature that you will see. It works, and it's a little bit complex, right? To understand the concept, but once you have the application, it's far simpler, basically.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna give it a 7.969694206942069420069. And I think the potential here is massive. Like if you can execute on this and things go well and you can find a way to really get the masses to adopt this, it's going to be absolutely massive. Do I think that'll be easy? No, but you seem really smart. I mean, you've gotten this far. You came up with the idea. You've built it.
2 years. 2 years.
That's impressive.
So
I mean, so I think you've got
now team of 12 people, right? 12 people now. 2 years of building. It's you can build something, right? You can prove some theory to work, and is what we are going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can build the best mousetrap, but unless people find out about it, right? So, and I think you've got the mousetrap. I think you just have to just mass adoption. And if you can nail that and get this down, which I see the use case right away. So if you can simplify it, make it easy for everyone to understand to the point where they're like, yeah, I'll hop in. And I like your strategy of going to Southeast Asia first. Our team just got back from there and they said they're miles ahead of us in terms of blockchain and understanding the value.
Correct.
Like we are way behind here. So I love that strategy. And yeah, man, I think that this is going to go very, very well for you as long as you can continue to execute. So I love it, man.
Yeah, we continue, right? We have a blockchain architect from Injective Protocol. We have really good team, a lot of experience, and this is a new application, right? There's a level of rework that needs to happen, right? Because you experiment with something new, where there's no you cannot find anybody who done it before, right? From the technological perspective, so the people need to learn and they apply some skills that they acquired before, but we are moving at the fast pace forward with 12 people, and you will see the public version in 1 month time. On the biggest, we released it of the biggest biggest tech show in Middle East, one of the biggest worldwide, hundreds thousands of people coming to that show. So it's like the first step. We've been there last year, like the launching the project officially from the stealth mode, and this year we are going for the launch of the product in the beta version.
One more question. So let's say I'm my dad. Let's pretend I'm my dad, who hates blockchain, he thinks crypto is a scam. But I stumble across this and I sign up. Does he have to create a wallet and everything, or does creating an account automatically create his wallet and the blockchain is just working in the background?
So he needs to have a wallet, which is a mobile app, is a soft wallet, and he should back up his keys at least, you know, to the iCloud, which maybe he will then share them with Apple or like Google Cloud, but he can do it, right? For ease of adoption, the things that I would not prefer to use, but we have those things, and for the web part of the application, he can log with just with the email, and then they create the wallet on the mobile phone later.
Okay, gotcha. So I would suggest looking into Privy. One of our guests a couple weeks ago said that they worked with them. So when you create your login, it automatically creates your wallet in the background, and the wallet's there, but you really just need your login to access it. So I don't know if
we have something similar. We have like the DID can be created with the email, right? But you know, you need to store the data somewhere, right? So if like if you have certificates like paper ones, you will have a drawer in your or the safe. I don't know, whatever is that paper worth to you, that data, right? So here we need to have the wallet on the mobile phone, right, to really hold the data, and you can of course backup it for your security in the traditional way like iCloud. But you need to have the application on the mobile phone. But you can start with the easier journey from the web perspective to try if you like it, and then you can export basically the data into the mobile wallet.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, my point of view is always the easier you make it for someone to join, the better it'll be. And it sounds like you've already taken steps to do that. But
the less clicks, the better. The less clicks, the better, right? Like nobody wants to click fill in the forms, right? And have difficulties with access. But I still think it's mostly for younger generation. Also, if you have more professional experience, you are kind of you have your network, right? Usually, right? So it's 70% of the jobs, right, are the people get contracted through the network, right? So that's basically the majority, and this is mostly for young people who want to prove themselves on the digital marketplace of the talents, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, well, thanks for your time. It was great meeting you, Marcin.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're gonna crush it, man. Golden, thanks for co-hosting. It's good to have a celebrity on the show.
So thank you very much, guys, and have a great day still. Like now I'm going to sleep, and tomorrow free diving at 6 a.m. So that's the weekend approaching. You know, you should join me in Dubai. Let me know if you're ever coming to Dubai. Then let us know, and let's catch up in person.
One of these days.
I would love it. Someday we'll make it out there. We just got to squeeze our bosses to, hey, we got to do a Dubai team meeting or something. Cool. We'll let you know.
Cool. Cheers. Have a great day.
Thanks,
cheers.
Man.
Bye-bye.
Cheers. So this is the part, and you've seen the show, where we just play this and we're kind of awkward. It's good bourbon. It's bourbon and ice.
I've had like 17 cups of coffee today. It's rough.
I basically have a constant drip of coffee. I'm just slamming it. End stream.